I was born to love music. I was constantly singing, making instruments out of everything. So at the age of 6, I started piano lessons, and that year I had my very first performance. And I loved it. I sang at my piano recital every single year. So my parents decided to put me into vocal lessons. So then I was able to start doing open mics, national anthems, and a little later I started putting music covers on YouTube. And whatever that was. Music was such a gigantic part of my identity, a huge part of who I was. But in the past couple of years, I've kind of stepped away from it, and that makes me sad. So starting now, we're gonna change that. It was one of my New Year's resolutions for this year to focus on music more, and I know it's May now, but better late than never. So in the past 3 years, we've moved from our house in Washington to a trailer in Idaho. From the trailer into the tiny home, and from our tiny home into our house. So my music stuff has kind of been scattered all over the place. It's really hot up here. This is my amp case. Let's look better. There's like 5 different guitar cases in there. It's really hot out. So, instruments. I play piano, guitar, ukulele, and whatever this is. But it's not a banjo. It has 6 strings, so it's more of a guitar, but it makes it look like I can play the banjo, and that's kind of cool, I guess. So this is the first instrument I ever bought myself. I was probably 12 at the time, and I was trying to get my first gigs. My guitar was acoustic, and I couldn't actually plug it into an amp. So I went to the farmer's market, and I buskered for $1 tips until I made enough to be able to buy an amp and my gig guitar. I legitimately only picked it out because it was pretty, but it worked out. But since I haven't been gigging, it has been about a year since I've hooked it up, which is crazy. I hooked it up. I'm gonna admit, the amp did take me about 25 minutes to set up today. I'm definitely not rusty, but I am hungry. Thankfully, we have a ton of Factor meals, which are literally my favorite, but I took these all out of the fridge and I should probably go put them back now. So today I'm making myself a vegetarian tamale bowl, and because every time I make Factor, all my siblings all of a sudden want to eat, I'm making them their own. Factor has become my go-to because when I'm just really hungry or I'm making my siblings lunch, I don't want to have to deal with all of this prep work and chopping and cleaning up all of these dishes afterwards. So with Factor, I can make a fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meal in just 2 minutes. Factor makes it even easier by offering options for a variety of lifestyles, from keto to calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and protein plus. So I can go right to Factor and find exactly what I need, and it's so convenient because it ships right to your door. And Factor never gets boring because they offer 34 plus weekly meal options, plus smoothies, juices, and snacks. And there's no guesswork, no grocery shopping, no prep, no cleanup, and it's done in 2 minutes. It could not be more simple. So head to factor75.com or click the link below and use my code Nevaeh40 to get 40% off your first Factor box. That's factor75.com, and do not forget to use code Nevaeh40 for 40% off your first Factor box. So yesterday I got all of my equipment, everything ready to go again. But to really start the journey of getting back into music, I need to get back into the music. My old gig list. This is all of the songs I used to do at gigs. If I want to make gigging or performing at all this year a possibility, I'm gonna need to relearn all of them. I'm a little rusty. There it is. Nope. Playing all these songs again feels really good, but it also shows me just how rusty I've gotten and how out of the routine I am of playing every day. I'm actually having to stop in songs and look at the lyrics or look at the chords, which is crazy to me because I used to have these so memorized. But I will say, I haven't totally lost them yet. The more I play, the more it's coming back. So I'm just gonna practice a bunch and I think I'll be able to get back to where I was. It's still in here. Now with me and my piano the past few years, it's been a different story. You can ask anyone in my family if I've played a lot of piano since moving here, because we all lived in the tiny home. And the piano was in the tiny home, and it was loud. And it's not like I was playing complete pieces. There would be like 3 months of struggling and messing up before it sounded nice to listen to. This piano has been through a lot. It was a hand-me-down from a hand-me-down. She's old, she buzzes for some reason, and I don't know what's buzzing. Pedals barely work, her keys are kind of starting to stick. But this piano means a lot to me. It's what I learned on, and I sat down at that piano almost every day since I was 5. We have been talking. We think it might be time to upgrade. And upgrade to what? I don't know yet. But I'm looking. I've been researching, like window shopping on the internet. I used to just accompany myself on piano, but since moving away from performing a little bit, I've gotten really into classical music. My affinity with classical music is not surprising though. I've always liked orchestra and stuff like that. It's weird because I've always performed like folk and blues type stuff, but then I also am one of those people who likes soundtracks of musicals. Unironically. I love soundtrack. When I was like 7, my grandpa and I used to listen to the Rocky theme and dissect it, like instrument by instrument. And Phantom of the Opera, my first like 3 years of vocal lessons, I sang nothing but Phantom of the Opera. Only opera! Do you want to learn some other songs? And I was like, no, think of me. Wasn't great. Maybe I should have gotten into theater. Do I like country? I've never been able to make this sound good. Do I look wine? This isn't my ukulele. This is a toy. This one's actually my sister's. My dad was born and raised in Honolulu, so he taught us a couple of songs, which was really cool. So there is one instrument left. My first guitar. My grandparents bought it for me on my 10th birthday. Well, they gave me just the case, and then they told me, oh, the guitar's coming later. And I was like, okay, cool. And then they just surprised me with the guitar, and I lost my mind. It has so many scratches and random paint marks. I have never once in the almost 7 years I've owned it changed the strings. Anyone watching who has guitars or plays guitars is probably gonna yell at me. I know that's really bad, but I just never took it to a music store and I didn't want to do myself and mess it up. But she still sounds great. I love looking back on my performances and I feel so blessed to have all the experiences that I got to have through music. I may not be doing national anthems anymore, but taking my first guitar, my little acoustic, and sitting outside to play just for me. I'm remembering why I love music so much and why I'm never gonna stop pursuing it no matter what I'm doing.
How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I found, was blind.